Hey guys, I'm Tim.
I'm Bob.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Spencer.
This is the Board Game Rundown. Today we are doing a Kickstarter preview of Vigilante, designed by Reed Mascola from Paranoia Rising Games.
You got it.
This plays 2 to 5 players. It is a hand management, hidden trader, action selection game.
There's a lot of things going on.
Right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Right on. Okay, so this is a prototype copy, but right off the bat, talking about like components and stuff, I love the artwork. I think
The artwork
yes.
is very cool.
the artwork is fantastic. Bright colors.
Yeah, very color driven. Like, I mean, you see these player boards here, like the way that the colors cause shadows and stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's very dynamic. Like a lot of the cards seem like they're in motion, right?
Well, it's appropriate for the genre, 4-color comics.
Oh, sure. There
Yeah.
you go. Even better. Spencer going deep with it.
Yeah. Calm down.
So depending on
Too much knowledge.
So I guess other than that, like components, it's hard to say because this
prototype.
is a prototype.
Yeah.
But this prototype in particular is pretty solid. Like you could take this out and not be embarrassed by it. At
Yeah,
all.
sure. I
I
mean,
don't know.
yeah, it'll be nice to have fully upgraded.
I would
like the
I would love to
finalized
see
version.
what the
But
they do with it.
like if I took this to like my family to play, they wouldn't notice.
they wouldn't know
Yeah.
that this was a prototype.
Sure.
Right.
And the bag where you're drawing your
Event
tiles,
tokens,
your event
yeah.
tokens out. I mean, it's awesome. If they keep this kind of component quality, they're gonna
Yeah,
have
it's a nice
really,
bag.
a really
The
good.
trick about a bag is it's got to be big enough so you can mix the pieces up inside.
Right,
Because sometimes
not-
the bag barely holds it, and so you're
Oh,
like, well, I mean, I guess
just-
I'm mixing them. Yeah.
If you got big old bear paws like Bob does,
Yeah.
you need a good
Good sized bag. To reach in
sized
there.
bag.
So, what do you do in this game, Tim?
So everybody is going to have a secret identity, and the number of types of identities will be determined by the scenario you're playing. But you could be good, neutral, or evil.
Yeah.
Correct.
And there's
you-
different levels of that too, right? You could be like
Yeah.
a mastermind, or you could be like a henchman type person.
And
Yeah,
so
you-
you're gonna, it's gonna tell you on here, like basically you've got 2 good, so the majority of your tokens are good. So that means you are a good player. Neutral, majority of your tokens are neutral. Villain, same way, right? Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take these tokens that it tells you to take. So if I was the Guardian, I'd take 2 good, a neutral, and an evil. And here's the fun part: you shuffle them up. You put them on your player board face down. So you don't even know where your tokens are. You know what you are, but you don't know where they are. Because during the game, people are going to have opportunities to peek at your allegiance. So we know Dan is a Guardian because we've seen all of his tokens and his card, but you may flip over a token that says neutral and you're like, oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe he's
maybe.
evil. Maybe he's evil.
Villain.
So while you're going through the game, your scenario is going to have an event,
Events.
basically tell you how many rounds you're going to play. That's determined, or not determined, but signified by how many event
Events
tokens.
are out because you draw one event each turn.
Correct.
Yep. So once you're at 6, then it's normally.
Yeah, most of the
Most of them
scenarios
are at
we've seen
6.
are 6.
Yeah.
And so later on, these trigger. It's pretty fun. So then you've got basically a hand of cards that you can draw from the city deck or later on from the agency deck. You're going to have heroes that you can recruit. You'll also have heroes that you start with. They will give you different abilities. They've got health and combat value, for lack of a better, and like a special
And,
ability.
Yeah, effects.
Yeah.
And then there's other heroes that you can buy, which are more advanced versions of these. And they have a cost up here
Sure.
that you can discard these cards to pay for.
There'll be a market out just like a basic deck builder kind of
Yep.
idea.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things I like about this game is that the cards that you draw from have 2 different types of things going on, right? So the city deck has higher influence to purchase people, and the agency normally has a stronger ability.
Stronger
but
card, but a
less
lower
influence.
influence.
Right. So
not
depending on
as-
what you're going for, you can choose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I think that I like that too. I like
And
that
of course,
too.
it's not a guarantee because you could be
Sure.
picking a lot of the city decks and always be getting 2s.
Yes.
Dan.
That does
Dan.
happen
I don't
also,
want to.
but
if while Bob was talking about the higher influence, I was over here doing this.
allegedly.
Just nonstop 2s over here.
Somebody's grumpy because they had a rough game.
Yeah,
I don't
he didn't
want
do
to
so
talk
good.
about it.
Yeah.
And then your villains, you're not going to have all of these villains, but there's
Right.
level 1, 2, and 3.
Yep. Get progressively stronger as you go.
And the awesome thing is, if this holds over to the regular game, is you've got these really nice player screens, and it tells you the health value or like how much combat you are going to need to inflict
Correct.
to jail that villain
Mhm.
on your when you fight them.
Yeah,
Right.
the player aids work pretty good, and they're hidden because at the end of each round you got to roll your dice, and then you have to place one of those dice on the events, and that will trigger whatever you roll. And then depending on what kind of person you are, whether good or evil, you might be, oh, sorry, all I have is jailbreak die,
Oh, it's
you know, and
terrible
letting all the
that
villains
that
back out.
happened.
Yeah.
Double threes. What are the odds? So yeah, I mean that's
They're not
kind
too
of
bad.
kind of the very very brief expurgated
Sure, and
version.
each roll will have a different win condition.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
depending on
you
who
might
you
need
are.
to jail a bunch of people, or you might not care at all about the jailing thing,
Right.
depending on what you're doing.
Depending on your role,
Yep.
right?
And also, I like to point out that as you go through the villains to the higher level villains, it's not just that they get stronger, but they have special abilities that get
Worse
really
and worse.
nasty.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So it may say you have to have 7 to 9 to defeat one of the level 3s, but you might say one that
That
says,
guy might kill a bunch of your heroes before you.
Yeah.
kill them all, or it says your equipment cards
don't affect
Don't
it.
work.
Right.
Sure.
So you
Yeah.
might think you can defeat them, but you can't.
And
Yep.
you know that's something interesting. I want to point out also that I thought was unique to this game. I'm just grabbing a higher villain because there was more.
Oh
likely
yeah, that was
to
cool.
show is so that on your board you've got 4 spots 1 2 3 4 they're numbered and so your heroes can go there, so you can have up to 4 heroes, so that when the villain pops out there is numbers here in this little,
like little coordinates and
it tells you who is going to get hit for what.
damage. Yeah.
And so this guy hits first, and then after he hits,
surviving
your
heroes.
surviving heroes can then try to do the damage
Yep.
to get rid of him.
Yeah.
So it's I really like that unique mechanic. I think there are some things. We played 2 games of this. I thought that the first game was a little more fiddly than the second game. Now, maybe
Learning
that's
game. Yeah.
because I knew what to expect, so maybe it didn't seem as fiddly the
Sure.
second
And
time
we
we
were just
played
straight
it.
up
I
better
agree,
at the
I agree.
game the second time.
Yeah.
Also
You're-
true.
You're more used to it. You're like, okay, yeah, damage. I'll put it on here. Okay, yeah, I'm moving this thing here.
Right.
It's
Right.
once
It
you've done
is
it once, it's not
definitely
as bad.
fiddly though.
Not like as bad as Sentinels
Not-
of the
not
Multiverse.
as- not as much
Not
as
as
Sentinels.
bad,
And I
but
love
it has a
Sentinels.
similar feeling fiddliness.
Yes,
like
it
people
does.
who don't like Sentinels for the fiddliness might feel that for this too.
Right.
It has that feeling, just not as dramatic.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that statement because you've got a board you've got to kind of keep track of and manage here. I will say also I didn't feel like, with the exception of maybe the first round where everybody's kind of just starting to build up, I feel like there's not very much downtime between your turns
No,
Yeah.
not really.
because you kind of just start. Everybody just starts going because if you choose to draw a card, that's an
Boom,
action,
turns over. Yeah.
and your
Yeah.
turn's
Next.
over.
Yeah.
There is a thing, and I hope that they change this in the final version, is that the on your player turn, this is laid out really well, but it says down here at the bottom, playing cards from your hand are free actions. Well, in the instruction book, it says that your free actions
Are
need to be done first.
Yeah.
So it would benefit
yeah.
to have this above.
Exactly.
Correct.
Or
Super
instead
easy
of above,
graphical fix.
put it in the list with an asterisk.
Right.
saying free
It-
action
anything,
first.
right, but below implies that it
Right.
can be done
Exactly.
at any time or
Correct. Or afterwards.
or afterwards.
Right.
Nitpicking.
Yeah. Minor.
Nitpicking. I mean, player screens with player aids like built in are really nice.
Yep.
Again, the artwork
Nice
on
art.
these is cool.
Mhm.
It's fun when you draw your hero like on your screen. You're like, oh, I'm getting that dude because
Yeah.
it's on my
That's
thing.
me.
Yeah. Or I just killed that guy.
I like too how some of them are like faction specific, right? Because some of the heroes will be like Yakuza, some of the heroes will be
Oh,
like
right.
gangsters, and depending on what heroes you have, some of them will defeat them before they even get a chance to do anything.
Right.
And that's super helpful.
Yeah, there's a lot of thought put into this. There's a this is. I could see it getting a little swingy at times. I think you could definitely suffer from having
Yeah,
a bad
I think,
hand.
I think you go into the game expecting.
But-
Like know what you're getting into. It's
Right.
gonna be, it's gonna be a little swingy.
But I kind of enjoyed the hidden motives.
Yeah. Not
Uh,
sure what people are after.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the base scenario we played where the original one, like right out of the thing where there's only one villain and all heroes, we probably had like a fluke scenario where the
villain-
person playing the villain basically was just like right off the bat.
Yeah, he's
hey, I'm
outed
the
himself.
villain.
I'm the bad guy. Okay, well.
Funny thing is, he still won.
I know.
Yep,
So
so
we were
I guess
not
that's a
able
good
to-
strategy.
Right,
Well,
but it did take the fun though, and it's not his fault. It's just like if that happens, then the
cards will let
dynamic,
you-
the
right.
dynamic of like finding out
The
your-
hidden
your
roles.
role.
Sure, that's only in that scenario though where we knew there was only one villain.
Correct.
Though,
Correct.
Too.
Yeah, this time we played and we had mysteries. So we didn't know who was who or what was
Right,
what.
Yeah,
it
There
was-
was
that,
neutrals
that
mixed
was much
in.
more interesting.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
especially if something like that had happened.
Right.
It's also a testament that you don't have revealing what role you are. It is not going to be a game breaker.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe there's up to 6 players. Oops. Five.
Ah,
Well,
And
classic
I don't
Tim.
see any 2s, so I'm going to say 3 to 6.
Classic Tim.
Boom. You're welcome. But I there's a lot of things I really like about this game. I'm really excited to see this on Kickstarter, see what kind of stuff that they are going
to do with it.
yeah.
to do with it, like additional scenarios.
I think it has a lot of potential for expansions. I mean, right now there's only
Oh, yeah.
one hero role, and that's Guardian.
Yeah.
But they could easily come up with more hero roles.
Is there only the one Guardian, Investigator?
Oh,
There is
we
the
saw
the
the
investigator's
investigator.
kind of like the boss of the good guys, kind of like how there's the mastermind for the bad guys.
Right.
Okay.
So each side has one main like bad guy.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a couple small issues I have with it that are just very basic game things that I just don't like in any game, basically. Not being able to clear the market naturally is just always annoying to me. We've actually been talking about it a lot lately just because the games we've been talking about.
Sure.
But even just a simple thing of like, listen, I have no idea how to balance this game and stuff, but like a simple thing on the top of my head of like, oh, put 2 damage on any heroes you have to clear the market or something. So you're like hurting yourself, but you really need
That's
to
an
get more
interesting
guys
idea.
out there. Like just something to clear that, because I hate in games when there's a market and you look at it and just based on the strategy you're doing, you're like, that's all useless to me. So I guess I'll draw 1 card and my turn and hope someone else buys
a
someone.
card.
Right.
So that there's a different card out there for me. Like there needs to be a way to clear the market. Sorry, worst memory in the world. The other thing is I feel like, I don't know why, I feel like there needs to be more ways to draw cards or something in this game, because as your action, you draw 1 card. There's going to be, depending on what you're doing, right? And you could have a good engine built here, but still, if you have 1 card in your hand and you're just like, okay, well, my next 4 actions, which is entire round, is just going to be drawing cards so that I can hope to afford 1 guy.
Right.
Like a whole round dedicated to drawing cards is
When you only have 6 rounds.
miserable. Yeah, like that. A sixth of the game is just hoping that you can get enough.
Well, you
cards
could
to
even
do one
do
thing.
like target player draws cards so you can't choose yourself. Like choose another player, they get to draw 2 cards, and then you get to clear the market.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
sure.
something
Because
like
then
that,
that
because then you
fixes
don't have
both
to have
problems,
heroes,
kind
and you
of,
don't
yeah.
have to take damage. Because taking damage is fine, but there are scenarios or potential situations where you can't do that.
Yeah.
So
Would it help if you could sacrifice one of your heroes in exchange for, say, half of their...
not at all. That's a terrible
oh.
idea.
Spencer said it. Yeah, Spencer said it. But those are my 2 kind of big ones just for me personally.
Sure.
Not being able to clear a market, and the other thing I said.
Great memory, Brad.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's horrible. I'm gonna die. Yeah. That's
I'm really excited to see what this looks like in its final version. This game, I enjoyed it the first time. I really did like it a lot more the second time we played
cool.
it, because I think that the other scenario helped a lot
Mm-hmm.
without knowing, with there being so many variables as far as what is everybody trying to do. Yeah, I really liked it. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
This is a game I want to play a couple more times.
I liked when you were neutral.
Yeah.
It actually behooved you to try to kill one of my heroes so that you could win, even though you're not actually trying to be villain.
Right.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, it's a great way to. I mean, I think
It's a
it's
good balance.
They have their own
And it-
little selfish
and,
motives.
and it kind of makes you look sometimes bad.
Yeah, exactly.
to
Or like
do.
I was good, and I was trying to kill heroes because one of my cards like makes my guy stronger.
Right, and we
Sorry,
all
but-
thought you were
yeah.
evil.
Yeah.
well, he
Killing
is.
heroes doesn't make you evil.
Is that a quote from The Boys?
Feels
Feels like it should be.
Should be.
So
But-
yeah.
Yeah, I would. With just being a preview, like I am excited to see Vigilante.
Yeah.
I want this to fund. I want to play this in its real version, its
Right.
final version.
Yeah.
But this prototype will get some plays because I
Mhm.
could go, hey man, you ever seen a game like this? It does some things that I have not seen in other games.
Mm-hmm.
So combine some mechanics I really like.
Yeah.
And I think that for Dan, we could always house rule some things. Actually, I think letting somebody else draw 2 cards to wipe the market is a good
That's
idea.
not I think that'd be a good thing to play test, because that's fixing is a loose
things
word, but it's helping the 2 problems with 1 move, and
Right.
that's nice. 2 birds with
Mhm.
1 stone, that whole thing.
Right.
Yeah, so that'd be worth trying out.
Yeah.
I'm also surprised that we only have 1 level of hero. They're all mixed in. Well,
Oh, yeah,
villains we
Other
have
than
3 levels.
unlike the villains, I could see
Yeah.
that too. I
Like
could
start
see
with
that
maybe
being
some
a
of the
thing.
cheaper ones
Yeah,
and stuff.
cheaper
and
ones
then work
available,
them
so
towards the
everyone has a
expansion.
Yeah,
chance.
shuffle some mercenaries.
Because
into
if they
each.
all lay down and you've got all 12s.
Yeah, you're like,
but,
I
Sure,
mean,
my
that's
whole
a
hand.
that's a
That-
huge game change though. That's not going to happen.
But that happens.
Yeah.
That happens in other deck builders.
That's true.
Like
Sure.
all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you live with it.
So what do you guys think about the basic game mechanics of Vigilante? This hidden identity, hand management. It's almost like, it's not deck builder, but it's like hand builder.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
getting,
Yeah,
you're
'cause
trying to
you're
get
getting a
this
deck.
little
It's a
hand
tableau
going.
builder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that too. Every
Yeah.
builder
Tableau
except
heroes.
deck.
And there is some engine building
There are, yeah.
aspect
Right.
to the cards you can get and equip. So
Mhm.
You can even get cards that capitalize off of events.
Right.
So if I roll a 3 and have to jailbreak, but I also have an equipment that lets me draw a card if someone rolls a
Yeah,
3.
I actually wish there were more of those. That's one of my favorite
Yeah,
things
it's a
in the
pretty good
game
cool
is
thing.
having a bunch of cards here that like
Trigger
just
off
proc
that.
off those. So
Yeah.
sometimes you put in a die that you know is going to hurt yourself and everyone else, but it's because you're going to proc
It's
this
gonna
strong
Well, I'm
ability.
gonna heal
right
somebody
here.
and draw a card, but I'm gonna have to deal something
Yeah,
not so good
yeah.
too.
Or-
I like that system a lot.
Or it could be I could put a die over there that makes everyone draw a card, but it's going to proc this guy's ability, so I'm not doing that.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
it works both ways.
Yep.
But yeah, this is Vigilante, Paranoia Rising Games.
Paranoia Rising.
I'm glad we had the opportunity to take a look at it.
Yeah.
I think this was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Do you have a Kickstarter date, Tim? I do not.
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Coming
Mr.
soon.
Memory.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
to
Dude, good luck.
But yeah, no, coming soon, or yeah, maybe by the time this is up.
Yeah,
by
good
the time
point.
you're seeing this,
It might be up already.
It could
Yeah.
be up already.
That's right.
Hopefully on their Kickstarter page.
Link in the
Go
description.
search. Yeah, link in the.
So for the board game rundown, I've been Tim.
I've been Bob.
I've been Dan.
And I've been Spencer.
We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for checking out the Board Game Rundown. If you like what you saw, like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. Share our videos on social media and spread the word. We publish new content weekly, including reviews, unboxing, and Let's Plays. And as always, thanks for watching.